recap, I want to just pull out a couple of highlights that I gathered, because to me, when you watch something and you listen to the passion is what sticks with you, but the notes that you take are the kind of the nuggets that you'll be able to build on going forward, and you'll think about those nuggets in the context of the passion that you received them. So he's delivering that going, oh my gosh, it gives me goosebumps, I love that. But if I don't jot it down, I'll remember the passion, but I won't remember the nugget. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I want to highlight a couple of things. As far as it comes to multitasking, I used to think I was the greatest multitasker in the planet. I really did. I thought I could do 1,000 things, but I didn't do 1,000 things at once. I did one thing at a time, but back to back to back. So watching you do that 1 to 3 ABC, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, whatever. See, I'm already jumbled. I got 3 into it.
It's bad.
My point is I always thought I was good at multitasking, but I wasn't good at multitasking. What I was good at doing was I was good at focusing on one thing till it was complete, and then going to the next thing, and I would focus on it till it was complete. That is the microcosm of multitasking. The problem with multitasking at a big level is if you're going to focus on something, if this is your goal, and that is all you're after, you're going to focus on that and accomplish that. And something else happens over here. It takes a piece out of your core focus to accomplish that. It takes mental energy, it takes emotional energy, it takes some of your, not only your time, but it takes some of your heart away from your original objective. So my wife and I have set a goal to be global executives in WakeUpNow. We've set that goal. And we've mapped out a path about how to get there. It's 855 F3s. We have to help 855 people make $600 a month at a minimum in order to be a global executive.
And you don't even have to do it personally.
Well, I know, exactly. That's just it. You personally only have to help 7 people do anything in the business, right? If you want to really get to the brass tacks. So, with that said, this takes out of there. This takes out of there. And pretty soon you've got all these other things that take emotional energy and time away from your core goal. Are any one of these bad things?
No.
Not a single one of them are a bad thing. And let me share with you why I'm so committed to this process. WakeUpNow had 3 things that I had to have in place in order for me to join here. The 1, 2, 3 approach for me, or I would not have joined. This was my join. In order for me to join, I had to be able to check these boxes. First one, I had to believe in the leadership of the company.
Yeah.
I could not put another second into a company that was run by someone I didn't believe in.
Nope.
So when that box was checked, when I spent time with Kirby, when I spent time with Phil, when I spent time with Jason, I mean real time, I spent 2 months consulting before I ever joined. And that's why it was so funny that when my sponsor said, are you ready to look? I had already been looking or working with WakeUpNow for a period of time ahead of that. So this box got checked. That's why I was ready to say yes, I'm ready to build. Because I could believe in the leadership. And you'll see that today as you meet the leadership. The second was, and this was first, keep in mind, that was first. The second was the value to the end user. There had to be value to the end user. Man, in that earlier presentation, you guys see there is more than enough value to the end user for what it is that we're offering. I can build a business and feel good about myself and go to sleep at night that I'm providing something that people need. Not convincing them to follow me so that they can build my dream of being a global executive. That's the wrong approach. Your team is not in business to make you money. Your team is in business to improve their lives.
That's right.
You as a leader facilitate that process for them, and you ultimately will get to your goal. Value the end user. Check that box. Third, don't downplay the importance of the comp plan.
No.
The comp plan had to reward not only me as a leader, but had to reward the average builder on my team in a way that it would compensate for the emotional energy it takes to build a team.
Absolutely.
Why in the world would you spend every waking moment of your life that is dedicated to business building a business that does not pay you for that effort. That to me is asinine. It's literally like just standing there and banging my head against the wall to try to get to the other side of the wall. Eventually I'm going to get there.
Maybe. You might die before.
But I'm going to have a bludgeoned head, a headache, a bloody nose, cuts on my face. Eventually I'm going to get through the wall. And if that's the direction you want to do it, as opposed to just open the door and walk into the next room and walking through the door, there is an easy way to do things and there's a hard way to do things. And this had to reward and equally match the level of effort that I knew it was going to take to get to the goal. Check, check, check. That's why I'm here. So, multitasking. You get that? You get that concept? 2 weeks ago, my wife and I were offered a job, $400,000 a year, to be a C-level executive of another relationship marketing company. It took me a day to come to the conclusion that it was a distraction. All distractions are equal. This was my goal. A job offer was nothing more than a distraction out of that goal. So, just wanted to recap on what we were talking about multitasking. You will hear all the time, duplication is what's important. It doesn't matter what works, it only matters what duplicates. That is a tried and true phrase you'll hear in the industry, you'll hear it, I've heard it for 20 years. It doesn't matter what works, it only matters what duplicates. So, what does that mean? You've all heard of the KISS method? Keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, silly, depending on your audience. Simplify to multiply equals duplication. It's the new way of saying KISS. Keep it simple. Be the trailer, not the movie. Just to recap. So those are two recaps I wanted to go over. When Ryan talks about getting yourself involved in a system is merely an acronym. Save yourself stress, time, energy, and money.
God, isn't that?
That's what system means.
That's so good.
Because otherwise, you're literally just going to spin your wheel recreating what's already been done.
You'll burn out.
You'll burn out. And we're not interested in burning out. We're interested in working less, making more, and making it residual for effort we did back then.
Exactly.
And why not live what we teach? And the only way to do that is by creating a system, simplifying to multiply equals duplication. And that's the kind of stuff you're going to see through NoCollar Pro as we go forward. We are going to drum it up where we are all about simplification. All right, so how much time do I have, brother?
You have 11 minutes, and we need to really hit leadership. Don't forget.
And that's where I'm headed right now. So, when it comes to leaders, every one of you are a leader. Just like I'm a global executive. I'm just not there yet. Some of you are much more leaders than I am a global executive. But when I don't see myself as as a director 3 or an F3 or an F4 or an F5, even at executive level. I don't see myself as that. I see myself as a global executive in WakeUpNow. I am just not there yet. Does that make sense? When I was running my previous company as president of that company, we did not operate that company as a $200 million company. We operated the company as a $1 billion company. We made decisions as if we were a $1 billion company. We made our daily actions built around the idea that we were a $1 billion company. But at the time, when we first started, we had no functioning comp plan. We had no back office system that worked. We didn't have a single leader. We had a couple hundred customers that we recruited on some online portal. So when we started, we made decisions based on it being a $1 billion company. So that's on a grand scale. On a small scale, I'm making decisions today based on the fact that I'm a global executive. I'm just growing into that role. So leadership is about setting a goal, defining backwards what it takes to get to that goal, and then executing that plan. You cannot want for somebody's success more than you want for your own. Or I'm sorry, you cannot want for someone's success more than they want it for themselves.
Yeah.
Don't try to resurrect the dead. If somebody veers off, know that they're there. Put your hand out, extend your hand, let them know that you're there to help them when they're willing to return. But don't chase them, don't convince them, don't try to wrangle them back into the fold. Just let them know that you're there. As a leader, you're there to support. So here's the phrase that I want you to understand. I want you to lead with your back. What does that mean? Stay in front? That's exactly, I mean, it is. How do you lead with your back?
Paving the way.
Pave the way. Stop doing what I tell you to do and just do what I'm doing. As a leader, you have to show the way. Not expect people to just go out and do what you tell them to do if you have no evidence at all that you are doing it. People will not follow someone who pushes them. They only follow someone who leads with their back. So just think of a target on your back, and whatever direction you're heading is the same direction your team is heading. So if you ever think at night as a leader, why is my team not building? Why is my team not recruiting? Why is my team not posting? Why is my team not using the hub? Why is my team not taking advantage of the software? Why is my team... Look at yourself, because that's what a leader does. They lead with their back. As a leader, there are core principles that you need to do, that we all need to do. And this is, we have to learn the art of a few things. We have to learn the art of edification. You have to be able to give it away to get it back. You cannot, if you walk into a room and expect everybody to look at you and just stand and maybe bow in reverence, you're an idiot. It doesn't work like that. You get in there and you pull off your coat and you roll up your sleeves and you start stacking chairs. And you show them what they are to do and they will do it. You have to be able to compliment and edify people for what are their strengths. So here's the key to edification. Never edify what doesn't deserve to be edified.
Thank you.
You should never tell somebody who sucks at something that they're great at. You're reinforcing really bad behavior. But every single soul on the planet has something that can be edified.
Yeah.
There's not one person that doesn't have something that you can say, that is a great quality. So focus on what you can edify and speak the truth. That is the important piece to edification. Number one, as a leader, always edify. It doesn't make you less of a person because you tell somebody else they're wonderful. It makes you a good leader. People want to hear good things about themselves. They want to know that they're doing something right. And you can always find something that they're doing right. It doesn't even have to be in the business. They could be a disaster in the business, but they're a great parent. So edify them about their skill set. And doing that, you're giving away edification. You will receive it back, I promise. I've had some of the most beautiful random compliments given to me online from people that I wasn't even paying attention to. But they were noticing how I was giving away compliments or edification or accolades to other people. And people respond to that. So don't change who you are. Be yourself. But just channel some of those efforts. So that's the power of edification. How do you use edification to build a business? Great, you're a good edifier. You're great at telling people how great they are. Well, how does that translate into doing this as a business, Rob? So, three-way calls. Give me a number, Ryan. How many three-way calls did you ask me to do back in the first month?
Oh, we did at least 30 or 40.
At least 30 or 40, right?
Yeah.
Does he look like he needs me at all? Does he not stand up here and he presents better than I do? His content's better than me? He is a great leader. You hear all the time, recruit up. I didn't even recruit him. I recruited the Kilgores, and the Kilgores recruited him. What a blessing to me that I got a leader on my team who's a better leader than I am, because I learned from him. So each of you focus on recruiting people that are better than you,
Yes.
better skill sets than you, better leaders than you, better human beings than you. Because guess what? Surrounding yourself with a lot of people that are better than you makes you what?
Better.
Better.
Awesome.
There's no scarcity mentality in that.
Yep.
We're all in this pool together. We're all trying to get to the same goal. So work as a team. So, how does edification work in building a business? You've heard of that phrase, servant leadership, right? Well, to me, that's leading with your back. You're showing the way. There's strength in humility. There is so much strength in humility. When you get on a three-way call with one of your people, so here's the components. This is how edification works in the business. So you have the prospect, you have the leader, or the subject matter expert, and you have the associate or the distributor, right? The person who's doing the inviting. So they have the relationship with the prospect, and they have the relationship with you, and they're inviting you onto the call, right? So this is what PAL. This is a PAL model. That's what I call it, PAL. The PAL model. Prospect, associate, and leader. Sometimes you're the associate. Sometimes you're the leader. Oftentimes, many times in the same day. You can wear different hats because all it is about third-party validation. So, when you get on a three-way call, here's where edification is so critical to building your business. Who is the most important person on that call?
Prospect.
The prospect. Don't call the prospect first and make them wait on the phone while you're getting the leader on the phone. Because all you did was say, this guy's more important than us, so let us get him on the phone. Bull. You get the leader on the phone first, and then you dial in the prospect because you are respecting their time.
That's a good tip. I did not know that. That's a good tip.
When you get the prospect on the phone, they are the king of the show, not the leader. You're there for third-party validation. You're not there to be a rock star. You're not there. This call isn't about you.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a rip about you.
Good stuff.
People are there to learn about the value proposition and how it's going to bless their lives. Because remember, now you're the movie. Doesn't mean you're a mini-series, right? You're a movie. You're not a mini-series. Keep that in mind. Be the trailer, then be the movie. You're never a mini-series. Gosh, people like to hear themselves talk, don't they? So, they are the number one person on that call.
It's good.
This is the model. The associate, who are they going to edify first when they get on the call?
The prospect.
Who's the most important person on the call?
The prospect.
Then when you are the associate and you have got your third-party subject matter expert on the call, 3 minutes.
Oh.
What did you say?
2.
So when you've got your product, they are to edify this person first. Don't edify anything that's not true.
Correct.
Always pick something that is perfectly legit about that person. Then, introduce and give a little bit of background to build credibility in the individual who is on the call, who is far less important, not by a little bit, but by a lot, than your prospect.
It's really good.
Then, you hand it over. The leader, very first thing, thank the associate for allowing you to be on the call, for helping support them in building their business, and for introducing you to this person and restate the value proposition, restate the edification that they gave. If they said this person's a great parent, then you as the leader say, thank you so much for inviting me to be on this call. I very much appreciate it. It's my pleasure to help you build your business. And man, I love meeting people that are good parents. I'm grateful to be on this call with you. That is how edification works. You've got to give it to get it, and there's a process in doing it properly.
And don't overdo it.
Oh yeah, don't sound sappy. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous when you're like blah blah blah.
I mean, 1 or 2 just nice, simple,
quick
good, legit.
points.
Yeah.
You don't need to lather them in praise and glory.
You really defeat the like you go so far the other way that it becomes disingenuine and it becomes unauthentic and it just
Ryan, could you give us an example? Just do a roll.
Man, yeah, like okay, yeah. Can we do that?
We'll do it after because we're out of time.
We're out of
I don't wanna
time.
hold
Yeah,
them
let's
up.
don't. Yeah.
So
let's
here's
do it.
here's
Don't
my final
forget, yes.
statement. I did a three-way call the other day with David Tennant, and no, I apologize. It wasn't a three-way call. He called and asked me, "What is it that I need to be doing right now? As a leader, tell me what it is that I can be doing." And I said, "Okay, you're asking me a legitimate question. I'm going to give you a legitimate answer. So you're asking my opinion. You may or may not like the response, but I'm going to give you what I think you should be doing." And he said, "Great, that's what I want." And I said, "Tell me how many prospects you have right now who don't have their 3 people yet." He said, 8. He says, "I've got more, but some of them have their 3 already, but I have 3, not prospects, I'm sorry, new recruits." He says, "I have 8 new recruits right now who do not have their 3. Some have 2, some have 1, some don't have any." And I said, "Great, then the next thing I would do is I would shift from active recruiting to passive recruiting. You never want to stop recruiting. But you now need to shift from active recruiting, because you have 8 people that haven't hit their 3. The last thing you need to do is add 4 more people to your pool of people who don't have their 3. So stop actively recruiting, shift to leading your team, and right now your next 8 calls should be to every one of those people and ask them how you can help them get their 3. And he said, "That's all I needed to hear. That was what I got it. Thank you so much." That is true leadership, my friends. I'm done. You guys are great.
Yep.